proposed general fund budget, and the wrap-up will be the 2021 summary. That's not showing up very clear. Okay, so here's what we know, some of the items that we know for 2021. So we know that student enrollment, and I'll go back to 18-19, in district students we had 4,343 students. In charter schools we had 505. Total enrollment for the district was 4,848 students. In 1920, in district 4,367. We had 509 students in charter schools, totaling 4,876 students in total. The charter school budget amount is $5 million. Cost per student. Just so everyone knows, the cost per student is not a simple calculation. It's not the total budget divided by the enrollment. So what I did, I downloaded and pulled information from the Department of Ed, which has to do with daily attendance, and they do it in several different categories, which I won't go through the numbers. It's pretty self-explanatory. They do it on instructional, they do it on support services, non-instructional, let's see here, current expenditure, that's just another calculation in there, facilities and maintenance, or facilities acquisitions and maintenance, and other financing. So there are the different costs associated with students. I will tell you that you don't add those numbers together. It's just an analysis of each category of the budget based on the ADM. So for 18-19, our average daily membership was 4,777, almost 78 students. Total district staff, this is full-time and part-time, 610. Public school employee retirement rates. In 18-19, it was 33.43%, 19-20, 34.29%. 2021 is been calculated to be 34.51%. Is the comparison of revenue and expenditures between 1920 and 2021. So we have, this is showing revenue and expenditures. The first section is the revenue. So comparing, and I'm just going to review the totals. The final budget adopted in 1920 was $83,500,714. The proposed budget that's before you is in the amount of $85,262,768. The revenue is anticipated to increase by $1,762,054. With reference to expenditures, 1920 total expenditures budgeted $85,394,302. Proposed budget expenditures are budgeted at $85,181,596. And you can see the effect on those differences there. Also, what's important is that in the 1920, the budget called for the use of fund balance in the amount of $1,893,589. For 2021, we're anticipating that we'll have a surplus of $81,172. I also like to qualify with reference to the 2021 is that this is a proposed budget and there's still time to work on expenditures. We may receive some additional revenue. So between now and the next 30 days, we will continue to work on this document. In this case, I've added a bar chart, and you will see different displays of this type of, you'll see these throughout the document as we go through some of the hard numbers. And it just gives a visual so folks can see whether the categories are going up or down in a drastic fashion, or whether they're remaining fairly flat. So you can see in local revenue, state revenue, and federal and other revenues when you're comparing the 2 years together. The next section is going to be expenditures. Oh, I went a little too far. Okay, there you go. So again, you can see that we're trying to stay fairly flat as we go into the 2021 year. And you can see in instructional services, support services, non-instructional services, and other financing services. And again, that's a comparison of 1920 and 2021. The next section we're going to cover is the 2021 proposed general fund budget, revenue, and expenditures. So there are 3 major categories for revenue: local, state, and federal, and other revenues. So local, the total of those 3 for 2021 is $85,262,768. And this is what it looks like. So we know that 51% of the budget is generated by local revenue. Next category, largest category is state revenue, and the smallest is federal. This is another sheet just to get a sense of how taxes are collected. So taxes are collected based on the taxable assessed value, and then there's a starting point for millage. So in 1718, the millage was at 41.5784. The other important thing to recognize is that the state, the Department of Ed, will calculate our index that we can increase local revenue. And in that year, the approved index was 3.7. Again, in that year, in 1718, the district increased that revenue by 2.75. In 1819, the index was 3.6, and it was voted that the local revenue increased by 3.6. 1920, the index was 3.4. It was decided to increase local revenue by 3%. 2021, the index is 3.9, and the recommendation, the proposed, is to increase local revenue by 3.9. Okay, in this section here, this is another analysis of just expenditures by function code. So the function code is just instructional programs, just the major categories of instruction and support services that are applicable to giving proper instruction to students. So you can see that the majority of the funds, which is the way it should be, is budgeted in instruction. So instruction is $141,683. The next section would be support services, and that's guidance, computer-assisted programs, programming, administration, pupil health, business office operations, facilities and maintenance, transportation, personnel services. And that total is $23,514,627. Then we have student activities at $1,121,980, and we have debt service, which is the borrowings that the district has incurred for either building renovations or capital projects. All those numbers add up to $85,181,596. And this is just a pie chart to see, again, where the money is being spent. And as you saw in local revenue and the revenue categories, it's not the same comparison, but you want to see that most of your expenditures are going to be in the instructional program. And you can see that that's the case. The next section is by object code. So object code is looking at salary, benefits, professional and technical services, purchase property services, other purchase services, supplies, property, other objects, and other uses of fund balance, of funds. As we talked about the instructional program, you can see that employee salaries, which is professional staff, and all of the individuals that support education, that's where the bulk of the money is spent. And the second area would be in employee benefits, so forth and so on. Again, all those categories total $85,181,596. And again, just another pie chart so you can see that even by object code, you see where most of the money is going into salary and benefits for instruction. Okay, this next section is just a summary of what I covered in a little bit more detail. And again, the proposed budget is calling for revenue in the amount of $85,262,768. The new millage rate will be 46.0977, and expenditures will total $85,181,000. I keep saying this, and I won't correct myself again. $85,181,596, leaving a small surplus, as I had mentioned at the very beginning of the presentation, in the amount of $81,172. I also mentioned at the beginning that this is an ongoing process. We still have a lot of work to do between now and the next 30 days before we do the final adoption of the budget. And hopefully we can come up with ways to enhance these numbers and make it more beneficial to the school district. And that concludes my report.
Are you taking questions, sir? Yes.
Okay, are there any questions on the proposed budget at this time? Ms. Abney?
Objects? Can you hear me? Yes. Great, thanks.
Okay, I'm sorry, Ms. Abney. Could you tell me, ask the question again? You were referring to other objects?
Yes, sir. This. There we go. Okay, yes, under the proposed budget, at the bottom, we have other objects and other uses of funds. It's about $7 million. I'm just curious, can you give us examples of what those numbers represent?
Screen to move, but I know what you're referring to. So as I had went over the numbers in, this is the function code report, and you'll see that $6,403,305. So this, for example, is function number 5000. Also embedded in that account number is an object code 832, which is interest due and payable, and also principal due and payable. So this particular code is broken into two categories. Budget code is 105110-832, which is interest payable, and then the other part, as I said, is 105110-932 or 931. And let me just go one step further. Right, so for example, in that category, the budget amount for interest payable is $3,626,000. The balance of that, which is what, $2.7, $2.8 million, is principal amount due on debt service. And that's money that we borrowed for past renovations and capital projects in the district. Other items that, much smaller items that are also in there are an 810 object code, are dues and fees associated with memberships and those kinds of things. You're welcome.
Are there any other questions for
I have one.
Mr. McBride?
Mr. Butler, on the local revenues, I know we project what we should collect. What percentage are we, there's always a percentage that we're going to collect. It's never going to be 100%.
Right, so
What
I
are we
have in
projecting?
here, historically, it has been 92%. And I wish I could, oh, here we go. No, let me see. Now it's working. Hold on. Just bear with me.
Mhm.
Okay, so in this case, let's see if we can make that bigger. Okay, here we go. So in this case, right down there, where the pointer is, you'll see percent collected, and that .092, or I'm sorry, .92 is the 92% collection rate. Yes, yeah. And then, so we'll play around, we'll see what's going on. And, you know, this particular year, as I mentioned in the committee meeting, we have to pay particular attention. I will pay particular attention to these line items because they will need to be watched very closely. If you recall, I sent out a memo in February, and typically the district does do that to stop spending. In my mind, I'm going to continue that through the beginning of the school year until we see how things are panning out. You're welcome.
Are there any other questions from the board pertaining to the proposed budget?
Does this proposed budget outline any large or significant sacrifices we're making for the next school year?
Yes, it does. So if, at the April 23rd meeting, the administration recommended to the board to pass a resolution that would allow us to furlough individuals in order to deal with reducing the budget, taking a fine line on certain items. So we did have that resolution passed, and those reductions are built into this document.
Thank you.
Are there any questions, any other questions from the board pertaining to the proposed budget? Now, this proposed budget is not the final budget.
That is correct.
So this budget is what they call proposed, but we have to vote on it. It really doesn't count. The one that really counts is the one that when we vote in June.
Correct.
So, but as a board, we have to pass this.
Correct.
Okay.
And the administration is recommending that. And as I had stated, just to follow up on what you were saying, Madam President, I said at the beginning that we still have a lot of work to do. This is an ongoing process. I will tell you, it has been an ongoing process since January that we're looking at every situation that we possibly can in order to enhance the financial status of the school district.
Thank you very much, Mr. Butler. And at this time, we're getting ready to vote on that
I
proposal.
got one more quick
Go
question.
ahead, Mr. Brigham.
So we're assuming 1.73. What was our max? Oh, that is the max?
That is
Okay.
the maximum.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you.
Any other questions? So again, I'm getting ready to, would like the board to vote on the proposed budget. Do I have a motion to approve the proposed budget? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. So that is the end of the special board meeting for May 21, 2020. So may I have a motion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.